Hello. I'm working on my things, guys. Shut off. There we go. Hello, everybody. Sorry about that. I wanted to make sure I had time to prep a little bit, so I created a little beginning from you guys tonight. Hi, Miss Penny. I see you. Hello, hello. Happy Halloween for those of you who celebrate Halloween. If you don't, happy Friday. Happy all. I am working on pulling something out of a die cut machine here quick. I'm not sure if I cut it through enough. Okay, we probably might not use that tonight because I didn't have time. Hello, Luann. Hi, Donna. Hi, Miss Penny. Got my little ghost and my little skeleton face joining me tonight. Trick-or-treating's over, so I can do some happy Halloween, Karen. Brandon, now I will tell you that I don't have my day 12 video up yet. I have it ready. It will go up either late tonight or tomorrow. So we're jumping ahead to day 13 for the 13 days, and I'm finishing day 13 with my live. So let's switch over to my down camera and we will see what I had here. All right. So first I wanted to kind of show you some of the cards that I've made since last week. I don't have the exact days in front of me, but these are some of the cards I've made. If you go over to my channel, Sugar Cards by Candy, you'll see the 13 days of Halloween videos. Others, well, right now there's only 11 up. This is another one that I made. And I did add things from my stash, but other than that, I tried to use things from the box. Here is this one using the stencil. This was the stencil. Sorry, my camera is auto-focusing. I thought I had that shut off. I'll have to fix that. Here was, I think, day 11 might have been the shaker mix. So, and then yesterday, which this is the sneak peek. This is yesterday, day 12. I don't have the video up yet, but I will have it up either later tonight or tomorrow morning early. I just have to finish editing the last little seconds. So I just didn't have any time. And I didn't get it done ahead of time. So for day 13, I've already opened it. If I was to record it, I could pretend open. It was a bunch of candy from Scoozies. I already ate all of it except one. So I have one piece left. This was the packaging. We're going to use the packaging and we're going to use the candy and we're going to make a card tonight. So the couple things that I've listed down below is the Halloween treats paper pad. And I believe I did the trick or treat stamp set because we're going to use this stamp right here. Open if you dare, candy inside. Okay. Those things I listed below, they are affiliate links. If you click on a link, it just means I get a little kickback, but it doesn't cost you guys anything. And that just helps me bring you guys some content. So we're going to start out. I have grabbed also I saw some Raven cardstock, but licorice would work if you have the new cardstock. And then this is Not Your Mama's, or you could use mortar. I've got that cardstock. I also grabbed one of our new, I think it's called, I don't know if it's jack-o'-lantern or pumpkin. This is the new orange. Let's see, does it say on the back of these yet? No, it's this jack-o'-lantern was on, so I think it's pumpkin. But we're just going to choose some cardstock and we're going to make a little treat to put that little card in, or that little treat thing in. I think I want my card base to be black. So we're going to go ahead and cut this down to 5.5. Hope everyone had a great week, a good Friday. I will want to start by saying next week will be a pre-recorded video. Hi, Jerry, because I am going home to see my mama and my sisters. And I'm going to Crafty Day on Saturday, where I will get to see Sandy and meet Sean finally in person, and possibly Jill from our inspiration team, and then some of my other friends. And then the following day, I have some family coming from the East Coast, and we're going to have a family Thanksgiving Christmas type thing. So I'm super excited because we haven't done that forever. So this is just an 8.5 by 5.5 card panel. I'm going to go ahead and I'm kind of just playing by ear what I'm doing here. We're going to score it at our normal 4.25, but I'm also going to score it, guess it doesn't really matter, at 1.25 on one side. It doesn't matter which side you want to do. It's just up to you if you want the candy on the front or on the inside, on the back. So I am totally throwing this out there, just however I'm making it. I have no instructions. I'm just kind of winging it. We're going to fold it over like this. So if you wanted, yeah, I'm going to have my candy on this side. You could totally do it the opposite way. You could actually score it a little bit longer on this side, and then you could score it in. Like I would have to score this at what, 5.25, and then you could do your 1 inch, and it would be the back side. But I kind of like it this way because I like that little extra fun. So we're going to cut the orange down to be on the inside of my card base. And so I am going to cut that down to 4. I'm actually going to go like 3.5 and then 5.25. I'll show you why we're going to do that. After you start kind of making cards a little bit, you know, I mean, or if you make fun folds, you kind of get the idea of how you can kind of change things around. I'm short here a little bit because I'm going to grab some pattern paper. We're going to put some pattern paper here. We could probably go down even another little bit, but that'll work for me. So let's put that in first. I mean, I could have made the pocket out of this piece too. I should think about that. So I heard most people would not say this, but I heard the S word today, that there's a possibility that the pup and I could wake up to a little bit of S word in the morning. And I'm kind of excited about that. Because my little piece of candy is skinnier, I'm going to use this thicker tear tape to do my edges. You could totally do less. You could also put a little piece of foam tape right here. I'm not sure if I have thin foam tape, which would give it a little bit more wiggle room. Like if you were going to put something in there, I'm not going to worry about that too much. I'm going to burnish this well. And fold that down. We did not have a lot of trick-or-treaters this year. I was a little disappointed. See, so now we can stick our little candy in there. You can fold that over and it's going to have that fun little treat inside. Isn't that fun? And I actually have another piece here. Here's like a Jolly Rancher. I got this, the grocery store is giving out candy, and I thought I wanted to try this. So a fruit snack would work in there. You know, so I think something flat. You wouldn't necessarily be able to put like a Reese's peanut butter cup in there because it wouldn't necessarily fit. A gift card obviously would work. Okay, so I said we're going to use this. I'm going to use this as one of my pattern papers, and I think I'm going to use it on the front because I love the. So what I'm going to do, and I've used this in a couple of videos if you haven't seen them, I have this double-sided adhesive. Any double-sided adhesive would work. This is just the stuff I have in my stash, and I'm trying to use it up. I'm just going to go ahead and put it down. It's my card panel is, or my plastic, but my paper bag is a little bit smaller than it, but it will work. So we can trim that part off. So I've been trying to very, very much use up old like adhesives, old glitter, old embossing powders, just adding older stuff to my things to use them up. So what we're going to do is trim that off. We're just going to trim a little bit off each side. Another exciting thing is that my baby sister is, well, I have a lot of artists in my family per se, but my baby sister has been working with the community theater in her area, and she has been painting the set of their local theater, and their local play is musical is Clue. And so we're going to go to it on Friday night next week. So I'm super excited about that. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and let's see. So the front of this card is, I'm going to use my 6 here. So it's 1, 2, about 3 inches. So we're going to go to 2 and 3/4. Okay, and then is it? Yep, that's only an easy. I need to cut it from because I cut this at the right. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to show you do is kind of go in and really kind of burnish it down. That will get rid of some of the wrinkles. But I've had a lot of fun using the paper bags that the Advent calendar has come in this month in my cards. So, and because it just kind of did it by accident, I've got a nice little border that goes all the way around. Isn't that fun? Now, I technically feel like I have a little bit more on each of these, so I'm going to trim just a hair off. So I want to say, don't forget to check out the retirement sale, because there's a retirement sale and then there's a Halloween sale on the website if you want to get some of those items before they're gone. And I'm excited because I got my Christmas Advent calendar, so I can start videotaping and get them all done. That will be the 12 days that lead up to Christmas. So I think the 13th to the 25th of December. So I'm excited about that, to get that started and done. But okay, now this is the part I've had the problem with even during my videos. I actually stopped videotaping and edited it out because this stuff is so old, it doesn't necessarily want to peel easily. So I apologize for that. So today, we had trick-or-treaters. I live in town. We did not have very many. So I have some candy left, but I don't have a ton left. So that's a good thing. We were trying to figure out last year, Fletch just went bonkers, but it was really his first trick-or-treating. Because the first year we had him, we decided not to do trick-or-treating because we had only had him for 2.5 weeks or so. We didn't think, sorry, this is going to take a little bit of time because I don't have a nail. And it's very, very sticky. It takes just a few seconds. There we go. So last year we had him attached by his collar, and he did not like that. So we ended up sticking him in the basement for part of trick-or-treating. And he really didn't like that because he likes to be with us. Well, today, originally, my thoughts were, this is so sticky that I have only one chance to get this stuck down. That I could put the baby gate up that I use for when we sit out on the steps on the deck. I got the baby gates to keep him out of my craft room when I was at my other house because things weren't up high enough that he could get to them when we weren't home. And I didn't want to shut the doors because it was an unheated room. That I could put that in front of the door. And so when kids came, I had it up high enough that I could hand the treat over to the kids, but he couldn't get to the kids. Well, he was just so loud. That didn't work. So, okay, next I'm going to do is cut down a little piece for right here. So I ended up switching everything around before trick-or-treating got started because the neighbor kids, the lady next door, her grandkids came over right away. And I moved the gates we have 2 rooms downstairs that back room and a side room, like a side bedroom. And I was able to he could, run back and forth. And then finally I realized to open the back door, that helped because he could stare out the back door. So he did pretty good. I'm pretty proud of him. So this is 1 1/4. So I'm going to do 1 inch. And if I screw it up, we'll just not use it. Now that's great because I have 1 spot left. I could save this for another card. What I'm going to do is just throw it in my Advent calendar box and I can use that. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to put that on here. just to tie in that color. And then we're going to add a little bit more. And then we need some sort of focal point. I hadn't even thought that far ahead yet. Is there anything anyone specifically would like me to use? All right, that peeled off a lot quicker. So let's see here. I will tell you that I'm recently starting my blog up again. Now I haven't quite decided, and a newsletter. I may switch to another company, so I don't want to quite give out the information yet, because I do have one, but it's a little hard for me to use. And I use another system. I help do some virtual assistants for someone, and I use another system. So I might switch to that, but I am going to do that, which will give you more information. You can see projects from me or video updates when I have a new video. So I will post that in the Bruce Mill fan club when I get that all started. So I'm thinking I might use this leftover piece right here. And I think we're going to just create like a little, I don't know. Let's look through our pattern papers, because this is kind of a busier pattern. Ooh, look at, there's a small candy corn. Yeah, I don't know if I like that. Maybe we'll use that one. Let's just kind of peek through them all and then flip them over. Yeah, I'm kind of liking this stripe. I think that the diagonal stripes, that's what we're going to use. Do I have a piece? I want to make sure I don't have any extra pieces left. I mean, that would work too, but I think that seems kind of busy. So not that this isn't busy, but it's a little bit less busy. So I'm going to just kind of, this would be a good place where you could go through your stash and find a shaped die, like a label die, and you could cut it and make it, but I'm just going to use a square. A circle would work too. We're just going to go kind of easy tonight. And I'm thinking maybe, let's do 3 inches. That looks like a good, because I can always use that. That looks like a good, yep. And then I'm going to go, let's see here. I'm using my measuring. This is a good way to figure. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to go, so there's 1, 2, so 3 inches. So I'm going to do 3 inches. I'm going to do a 3 inch by 3 inch square. Okay. Now, but to tie this together, we're going to mat it, but I don't think I want to mat it on the black. I think I'm going to mat it on the orange. Okay. Now I know I have my Not Your Mama's there, but we'll see what it. So that means I need a 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 rectangle or square. Sorry. Mat that on here like this. Now I could cut it down. We'll see what it looks like. I might cut it down a little bit. I'm liking this a little bit. So I'm thinking we're going to go with that. Let's get these 2 pieces together. I'm not going to change my mind. We're just going to do it. We could totally add some ribbon to this and tie it shut too. Like if you were going to do a thicker, I can show that if somebody wants me to. I can add it. I just have to grab some ribbon. Do you guys want me to add some ribbon to it and show you how I would do that? Basically, I have this awesome, I think the green would be fun. Green or purple? Let's see. I'm thinking the green. Let's add some ribbon to it. You guys are kind of quiet tonight. That's okay. So I'm just going to pull it all off. So what I would do is I would put the ribbon on and we're going to attach it. We would attach it and we'd wrap it all the way around like this. And then I would attach it. And then we could tie it shut, which I think is fun. So we can do that. So I'm going to just cut it. I'm actually going to pull it because I'm not much of a ribbon tire or a bow tire. That'll be good. I'll make that work. And we'll chop it off like that. Save this for another project. Okay. So we have that. We do need to do a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of die cutting. I think we need a little bit of white to tie in and put our little person up. but I'm also thinking another square would work too. So let's take a piece. Let's see if I have some smaller pieces of Not Your Mama's here. I do. Look, I have a small piece here. Let's use that instead of cutting one of these pieces down. Hate to waste paper, a big sheet of paper. All right, that's 3 inches. So I'm going to do I'm going to do 2 1/4. Well, how wide is this? It's 2 1/4. So we're going to do 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. So I have a 2 1/4 by 2 1/4 inch square. That'll be perfect to put on here. And then I'm going to mat that, but we'll do that on the black. So what I'll do for the black, because we're going to reiterate that, is 2 1/2. I like to go with 1/4 inch mats instead of 8 inch mats. Sorry, I can't say that. Another fun thing, fun would be to do is to grab some of the glitter stock as well. So we could have cut this down and put the glitter stock. So maybe we'll do that instead. Even though I'm not a big person of liking to color up my glitter stock, I haven't decided. I'm thinking I might use this, and then maybe we'll use this for something fun. We'll see. Kind of leaning towards this. So we need a focal point. And like I said, my sentiment is this open if you dare candy inside. And we can stamp that on a thing, but I'm thinking we need to stamp out one of these. I think we're going to do this little. Let's do that bucket. I'm going to do the bucket. We're just going to center it right in the middle. Okay. Now it would be really fun because there's those couple of images, like the bunny image from the box would be super cute because that would fit on here completely. And so with the frog, there was a frog. That would be really cute too, or the ghost. But I think I'm going to use this bat image because this is what I linked before. I just need to find a piece of, find my Misty here. So I got some Not Your Mama's, and this isn't going to take much to color. You guys know me, I don't like to necessarily color a ton. I think I'm going to put it down just a little bit, and I'll show you why. Not quite center. Just kind of eyeballing. That looks good. Grab my Raven Detail ink here. Stamp it down a couple times because my ink pad is a little dry. And then while that's drying and we have our Missy out, let's stamp our sentiment. I don't think I have any strips here, so is this Not Your Mama's? Nope. Let's grab another piece. I know I got another small piece in here somewhere. All right, got some Not Your Mama's. And we will stamp that sentiment out. I'll just stick it in the corner of my Misty down here. Open if you dare, candy inside. And I'm going to stamp it right in the center because I'm going to cut it down. So quickly stamp that out. And the reason I wanted to do that is I want to let my Raven Detail ink soak into the paper a little bit before I color. That way, because I stamped it a few times, it takes a little bit longer to dry. I could have set my heat tool and heat set it. That way when I color it, it won't necessarily smear if I use light colors, but I don't really want to put my heat tool on tonight, if that's okay. So we've got that. I mean, I know we probably should put a sentiment on the inside too, but we'll wait on that. All right, let's grab some colors here. I am just going to grab whatever is handy on my desk here. I'm going to do kind of a purpley bat, this little blue bat, make it kind of fun. And we're just going to do a very easy coloring. I don't need to do a ton of shading, but you can also shade with this. When you only have one marker or two markers, you can shade with the same marker. I don't know if you could do, that. So I hope my camera's not as wiggly tonight as in the past. I moved it real quick. I'm still experimenting with placement on my new desk area, and I moved it up on my desk up here, but you can kind of see it there. However, I'm not sure if that's going to work either. I'm just going to go in and just add a little bit extra of this color right on the edges, down below. And it's going to be hard to see on camera. I'll pull it up closer. But just that little bit gets just a little bit of shading there. I'll probably do a little bit under here, just because it's the bottom of the bucket. I think I'm going to do the handle too. So I'm using Olo markers. They have been my kind of go-to, especially lately. I've been really loving having fun with them. And then I'm just going to grab some other markers. I have a few Copics handy right here. Because I want to throw in some of the same colors. So I'm going to try to grab some orange and some yellows. We'll color this kind of orangey. There's my Copics are starting to dry out a little bit, so I'm trying to use them up if I don't have the refills for them. All right, and then I think I have the right kind of golds, it's more of a gold than a yellow, and I love this YR23. This may be a marker that I repurchase even if it dries out. I'll just kind of throw in, because it's a kind of a good gold color. Yeah, just a little bit of candy there. I mean, we could have gone with some greens, some other colors, but we're just going to do a fun, fast color. And then I'm going to grab my BG700, which is kind of a blue light, and I'm just going to put a little color underneath right here to kind of give it a shadow. I don't think about it too much anymore, because I feel like if I think about shadows, like grounding shadows, if I think about it too much, then I don't think they work for me as well. Okay, now why I did put that down a little bit is this little bat came in with the frog for one of the days for this advent calendar, and he's super cute. So I'm going to grab him and we're going to stamp him down. It's not going to be a perfect stamping. We're just going to add a few. And I say that because I'm using a block. But I'm okay with that because it is a Halloween card. Now, for some interest, I should have put this, maybe I could have stamped this on a diamond shape, but I'm okay with that being like that. And that little bit down at the bottom, you just barely make that out. Just helps kind of ground that a little bit. Now we could pop this up, of course, but I think we've got enough dimension here that with the ribbon and then the candy inside, that I'm not going to pop it up. All right. So what I'll show you what I mean is what I could have done. Like if I was going to do this card over, I would put it at an angle. I would stamp it at an angle, and then I would put it on like this, so that my image was at an angle. I think that would make it for fun a difference, but we already have it done. So what we're going to do is very carefully stretch this out and grab my tear tape. This is the best way, I think, to add ribbon to a card without it kind of sopping all over. Just want to make sure I'm going to try to be as straight as I can. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go right here at this line. I'm okay with it not being all the way to the edge. And I'm going to go over and I'm going to try to line it up so that it's lined up right over there. I'm going to tear it off. I'll just save this to another piece. Like I'll just add it here so I can add it to another piece. Burnish it down well. And then this is how I like to add ribbon. I will do this to the back of the card, to the front of the card, and wrap it around too. And then we're going to go ahead and just put this down. Like I said, we're going to try to go as, and I might have gone too far one way or the other to tie the bow. Try to center my ribbon on that tape. And then, like I said, see? Now, and it's completely attached. So now we can attach this piece. And this is where we could add a little bit, maybe it's a dimension just to kind of over that, up above that little. Maybe we'll do that, just a little bit of dimension. So I'm going to do is cut this in half. And then I'm going to cut it in half again. I don't know how far over I need to stick this. Use this for placement. We're just going to stick a piece right here. And I'm going to take this piece off. We're going to stick a piece right here. And then I can kind of look and see. Okay, so then, yeah, and then I can cut this piece down. I'm going to cut it down just a little bit. Maybe it'll stick up our sentiment too. Cut that in half again and stick another piece down. So don't forget, this weekend is also my favorite time of year, fall back. So you got to turn your clocks back tomorrow night. I am so excited about that. That is one of my favorite things about fall. I love that Sunday. Now that I have a dog, it doesn't always work because he still thinks it's the right time to get up. But right now we've been getting up at, the dog and I've been getting up at 6:30 so that I can eat breakfast before I take him for his walk. I'm just kind of centering that on there like that. And then we'll go ahead and add some glue so that it's not dark when we're walking. I mean, I could walk at dark because we're in town and we're on sidewalks and stuff, but I'm trying to like walk when we have a little bit of light just because he's kind of a scaredy cat. All right, so we've got that part for our card. We could tie our bow. We'll do that in a little bit. We got to do our little sentiment here now. And I'm thinking our sentiment, we're just going to pop it down. Let's cut this down. I like to do my sentiments big. So I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead. Let's see, I'll do it up here so you can see. I like to use the bottom, but I'll use the top. I line up the little exclamation point with the edge of this plastic piece. And then I'm going to go ahead and turn it this way. And I'm going to line up the bottom edge. Oops, because that's kind of, and then, oops, see, that's where I can move it. The bottom edge, so it's straight, and then I can chop that down. And then I can turn this one around and do the exact same thing, except of course it's going to be a little lower here. And I'm just lining up the edge right there. And then I can turn it this way and do the same thing, line the O up, and I have the perfect border all the way around. Okay. I'm thinking, I don't think I really want to put this on anything because I just think I want to put it in here. And I'm going to leave it so it hangs off the edge a little bit. So we're just going to kind of center it with this. Okay. So it looks like I need to go from about right there with my tape runner. Okay. And put that down. Open if you dare, candy inside. We got it open. Got our candy in here. Let's put a sentiment here, but I'm going to pull a different sentiment set, if that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and pretty sure it's sitting on my desk. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and grab the Halloween Glow stamp set. This is from the Halloween Glow. And I'm going to grab the Happy Halloween with the bats. I love this Happy Halloween. And we're going to stamp it right in the middle. I just want to make sure it's not going to be seen. Yeah, because we've got that. So let's get our Misty. I'm going to get my big Misty out for this one. And like I said, totally. It says candy inside. You could do a gift certificate to a candy store. You know, you could change your sentiment up to just, what else is in those sentiment stamps? Trick or treat, smell my feet. Just kidding. Here's a sweet. And even though it's not a sweet like candy, a sweet, it could be a gift card to something sweet, maybe a coffee shop, which has somebody likes big coffee, big coffee drinker, or you could do, you know, cocoa packet or apple cider packet, some money, plus it'd be a sweet. I'm just gonna, and because it's a Halloween card, I don't care if I get the super black. Like I said, I have to re-ink my ink pad. All right. There we go. And it ties our bat theme in as well. All right, look at, I wanted to make a candy card, but I wasn't exactly sure how my candy card was going to turn out, so I'm excited. We'll grab my little Sour Patch Kid, stick that in here, and then I did talk about maybe putting a little piece of pattern paper right there. So let's find that piece of pattern paper we used, the stripes. And even though I have this cut down that it would fit perfectly for an A2 card, we'll go ahead and we'll use a piece of that. So I'm thinking I'm just going to line this up again and use my spaces. I'm going to go one, let's see. I'm going to go 1/2 inch. I'm going to do a 1/2 inch, which is fine because I can still use this then for a mini slim card because you guys know how much I like those. So I'm going to line up in my 3 and I'm going to go over to my 1/2 inch and cut it down. Save this for another project. And then I'm going to do 5 1/4. And then before we glue it down, because this will just tie in this pattern paper here, we'll just add it here and check. Yep, and see, then we'll have that and see when it goes. It just finishes off that edge nice. So and you could add a different pattern paper. We could have put these jack-o'-lanterns there. You could do, you know, you could have put this piece on there again. This piece would have worked nice in there. I mean, it's too short. This one's too short, but you could have done that. We could have made sure those matched. I'm going to go ahead and line it up. Got a little extra glue right there. I'm just going to line it up at the top. And then I just kind of eyeballing my little edge here. And there we go. We've got that. I'm going to tie our bow. And if you were going to give this, then you could trim off your bow a little bit. I'm going to leave my bow a little longer just because I'm not a bow tire. And I think we got we're going to snip the edges here. I'm going to snip it like that. Oh, that looks horrible. Boop, 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 boop. It's very short now. It's because I'm not a bow tire. I could do a knot too. There we go. We'll kind of do that. Kind of. And then we'll do the same thing here. Hopefully I cut it the same direction. Like I said, I'm not a bow person. I don't do bows often. Okay, get my fingers on it, you guys. And this is not a ribbon scissors. There we go. Fix that bow up a little bit. Let's see, we got to tighten it up. Use my reverse tweezers. We'll hold that knot in place, of course. There we go. That looks a little better. I can zhuzh that around a little bit. I'll do that. You guys don't want to sit here and watch me do that. But there we go, you guys. We need to add a little bit of bling. I've got these little, got this, I have been using this a little bit, Violet Shift. Rip. So we'll go ahead and grab our glue. I'm hoping, I guess I didn't cover this up, so this may not. Let's see if it opens up. Let's see if I did. Look at that. I don't try to think about putting down anything. I just do it and just kind of place it and walk away. And then I can always come back and add some more if I don't like the placement. Peel it off. Well, it's wet. I can move them around a little bit so that they're not, you know, in like a straight line. If I do something like that, we'll do it like this and like that. Here we go, you guys. So there is my day 13 of the Halloween, last day, the Halloween Advent calendar. Like I said, I will get day 12 up. I used the candy in the paper bag from it, and we created this cute little treat box or treat container. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you, Karen. Now I got to figure out someone to give it to. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Have a fabulous weekend. Like I said, I will have a pre-recorded video next week. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. Probably use one of the Christmas releases from November because I haven't played with a lot of that yet. And I will see you guys next time. All right. Have a great evening. I will see you all later.